बहुत सारा men heavy proteins लेते हैं जिम के कारण. That also can lead to back acne really badly.
Someone who masturbates has a higher likelihood of acne.
Half the acne is gone by one single step.
बॉलीवुड में भी कुछ लोग को देखा और वो उनका लिप्स एकदम वैसा रहता है.
Filler is just a transparent jelly. ये jelly जैसा. There is no way you can do 3 shades light and 2 shades light and make a person fair. So please don't fall for these things.
But how do I identify the right sunscreen?
So if a bottle says 10 SPF, I can go out and stay safe in the sun 10 times 10 minutes. This is your skin and I will, after numbing, roll this on your skin like that. So this is going to cause micro injuries on it. You cleanse your skin, you protect your skin, you nourish your skin. Simple.
Okay. Cleanse, protect, nourish.
Yeah.
Okay. Before we begin, I want to thank Zerodha's Media Network 01, whose resources enable me to bring quality and valuable content like this to all of you. Hi doctor, thank you so much for coming here.
Pleasure.
Yeah. So doctor, I'll jump right in.
Sure.
Instead of asking you random questions, I want to ask you the most Googled questions on skin.
Okay.
So these are the questions.
Wow.
Which is, what is the ideal skincare routine for both men and women? Should we use sunscreen, and if yes, how frequently?
Good question.
And does masturbation cause acne? And does whey protein cause acne? And like how to prevent acne in general. So I'll just go over one by one and we'll just take the conversation like that.
Perfect.
So I wanted to ask you directly, move right in. What is the ideal skincare for a man or a woman? And is there anything like an ideal skincare routine?
Ideal skincare routine should start with cleansing.
Okay.
So you need to have one cleanser, you need to have one protector, you need to have one nourishing, replenishing, one thing. So 3 things or 3 purposes to a skincare. If you understand that, then life becomes easier. Now, what is the difference in a cleansing between a man and a woman in general? This is like a large generalization. Man has more oily skin and woman has a little lesser oily skin than a man. Only because they have more oil glands. Oil glands are more stimulated because of the testosterone, which is the man hormone. So male skin is more. And let's please, men are usually more untidy. So
I'm taking offense to that.
No, don't. But that's the truth. Now, whether you take offense or not.
No, I'm joking.
Yeah. So cleansing becomes more important for a man with ingredients that take away the oil as well. So you need to be more aware of that.
Because men have more oily skin on average than women.
Exactly.
Cleansing is even more important for men.
And cleansing with ingredients which make them slightly more dry.
Okay.
Could be a smart choice of a cleanser.
Okay. Can you just repeat again what the 3 points were? Cleanser and then the other 2 were?
Protect your skin. You cleanse your skin, you protect your skin, you nourish your skin. Simple.
Okay. Cleanse, protect, nourish.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So cleanser is the first routine you do. Now, how many times should anyone cleanse your face? Depending on your skin type, depending on your lifestyle. If let's say you're on a sales job and you're out and about all the time, you may need to wash your face 3 times. But if you're someone who has just got ready, sat in the car, got into your office and again get back into the car, then you may only need to cleanse twice, once at the beginning of the day and once at the end of the day. So number of times depends on what your lifestyle is, what your exposure is and what your skin type is. Not more than 4 times, no matter how bad your skin is.
4 times per day, per week?
Per day.
Per day?
Per day, a man asking this question. Not per week. Week has 7 days, at least 7 times. No. So 4 times per day is max you will wash. Twice a day is minimum you should be washing. Yeah.
मैं सिर्फ पानी से धोता हूँ.
In a clean world, in a world with no pollution, in a world with no oxidative stress, सिर्फ पानी काफी हो जाएगा. Not in this world.
And our water itself is dirty, so.
Exactly. You are the ingredient man. You tell me.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that is the cleansing part. So one routine हो गया cleansing.
हाँ.
Second is protection. Now protection against sun, we all know. Pollution, we must do. Even the wind, the dust, the oxidative stress, everything that is happening from the outside, you need to protect your skin. Mostly during the day, not just because the sun is out, because that's the most active part of your life. You go out, you come in, you touch your face, you're in the dust. Some professions involve dust and light and heat. So you're always busy in the day. So daytime, you usually concentrate more on protection.
Okay.
A simple thing you can do is choose your sunscreen right. Depending on your skin type, choose a sunscreen. Then in the night, you end up using nourishing. Why night is important to replenish and nourish is because you have 8 hours of uninterrupted time to your skin. Right? You're either sleeping or let's say you're reading, let's say you're chatting with your girlfriend, at least skin is left alone, right? So in the night, that's uninterrupted hour, whatever you put on the skin actually kind of takes in, actually works, actually has the time to sit down there and show its result. So you do that at night. So your skin routine should be thought about in 3 major ways. Like I said, cleanse, protect, nourish, replenish, work towards your goal, repair, all that in one basket at night.
Okay, so 3 categories again: cleanse, protect, and nourish.
That's it, finished.
Simple. And cleanse, you said, is a maximum 4 times per day. Protect is how many times per day?
This can be a big topic of discussion. We could
Okay.
also discuss it during sunscreen topic.
Okay. And nourish is at night.
Once.
Once.
See, protect also can just be once in the morning when you step out. But again, like I said, because we step out and we keep either touching, you sweat, you wipe it off, or you're somewhere using something and you just do this to your face. We keep touching our face. So twice is a good idea. Once in the morning, once post lunch would be a fabulous idea if you can do that, if you can afford the time and the effort. Some people say, I can't do it, where will I do it? So you could do it. We'll figure out ways of doing it also, we'll discuss.
हाँ.
Night obviously is once, you apply it and you go to bed.
ठीक है, तो जो ये आप बोल रहे हो ये 3 categories,
ये basic है.
ये basic है.
Yeah.
So in the cleansing bucket, is it mostly the creams or like, you know, what are the type of products again in the cleansing side?
By and large, one thing is enough. You know, you just end up using the right kind of face wash. That is more than enough for anybody today.
Doctor, I want to simplify it a lot. Suppose there's a college guy who's watching this, like, you know, some engineering college or wherever they may be. If they just use soap, like, you know, the soap, the bathing soap, and they, like, you know, take some in the hand and they rub it, is that also technically a cleanser?
The problem with soap is, one, it has to be preserved really well. Don't just open the soap and put it on your shelf and 20 people are using it to wash all sorts of things and then you're putting it on your face. Not happening. Yeah, so that is the only contention against soap. Kind of don't want that lying there in the dirt, in the dust, and then just put it on your face. Therefore, I would like something which is coming out of a container, which you just use that one squirt.
Okay, so instead of that bar soap, it's better to do the squirt wala.
Exactly, because it is clean, you're not reusing it, it's squirting out, everything is neatly covered.
So that even 20 people can use, technically.
Exactly, na. That even 20 people can use.
सोप यूज करना है तो ट्राई करो एटलीस्ट स्क्वाट वाला करो वो
नहीं तो बार वाला अच्छे से रखो,
अच्छे से रखो
और आपका सोप होना चाहिए, 10 लोग यूज नहीं होना चाहिए.
हाँ, तो उनका भी डर्ट आ रहा है आपके ऊपर.
हाँ, प्लस कभी
क्या
कभी
सब
ऐसा
हो रहा है,
करके
हाँ,
आप
कहाँ
रख
डाल रहे
लेते
हैं, कोई
हो.
पता नहीं.
एग्जैक्टली. सो आपका सोप होना चाहिए.
और कोई सोप में कोई है कि शुड बी पैराबेन फ्री और लाइक यू नो इज देयर एनी क्राइटेरिया बिहाइंड इट, और तो दिमाग नहीं लगाएं.
बहुत सारे लोग मुझे पूछते हैं कौन सा शैम्पू, और मैं हमेशा बोलती रहती हूँ शैम्पू नो, कौन सा शैम्पू इज वन थिंग, कौन सा शैम्पू बिकॉज हेयर फॉल के लिए आ जाते हैं कंसल्टेशन के. कौन सा शैम्पू, आई एम लाइक शैम्पू सर पे रहता है आधा सेकंड, उसमें आप कौन सा भी शैम्पू यूज़ कर लो, और मोस्टली मेन स्पेशली आपका बाल इतना लंबा रहता है, अब कौन सा भी शैम्पू यूज़ कर लो, क्या फ़र्क पड़ने वाला है. लंबा बाल है तो आप शैम्पू यूज़ कर रहे हो, उसमें से आपका जो नमी बाल का वो खींच लेता है, इसलिए मैं बोलूँगी हाइड्रेटिंग शैम्पू यूज़ करो. बाल ही इतना छोटा है, 1 सेकंड का शैम्पू क्या फ़र्क पड़ने वाला है.
तो शैम्पू से फर्क नहीं पड़ता है कौन सा लोग यूज कर रहे हो ऐसे.
अनलेस आपका स्कैल्प में डैंड्रफ है, स्कैल्प में अगर बाल ग्रो करने के लिए शैम्पू से कुछ फर्क नहीं पड़ने वाला है.
समझ गया.
ऐसा
और
ही
सोप को लेके
भी आप इतना सारा इंग्रेडिएंट्स पढ़ के कुछ होने वाला नहीं है. बहुत सारा सेंटेड सोप मत यूज़ करो, बिकॉज वो स्किन के लिए हार्श हो सकता है. किसी किसी को सेंट से सेंसिटिविटी हो सकता है, तो अगर एक्जिमा है तो वो ज़्यादा बढ़ सकता है, बहुत ड्राई स्किन है तो सेंट इरिटेट कर सकता है। तो ऐसा सब सेंट वाला सोप मत यूज़ करो,
ठीक है।
कुछ सीधा सादा सा सोप यूज़ करो जो स्किन के लिए बना है।
ठीक है, तो सोप के लिए मेरे को समझ में आ गया। चलिए सोप में वो 2-3 पॉइंट बोल रहे कि ज़्यादा सेंटेड वाला सोप मत यूज़ करो, और वो स्क्वर्टिंग वाला सोप प्रेफरेबल है, वो नॉर्मल बार को अच्छे से रखो अगर आप बार वाला यूज़ कर रहे हो।
और ये भी सोप यूज़ मत करो जो बोलते हैं हाथ का कीटाणु धोते हैं, यूजुअली दैट बिकम्स वेरी हार्श।
99.99%।
हाँ, तो वो दैट बिकम्स वेरी हार्श।
एंड डॉक्टर, तो यूजुअली एटलीस्ट एज अ मैन आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट सोप तो एक हुआ, और कुछ लोग तो थोड़े एक्स्ट्रा होते हैं। हम फॉर मी दैट्स एक्स्ट्रा, फॉर यू दैट्स लेस देन बेसिक।
You तो don't even talk. You just told me 4 times a week I'll wash my face.
Is the face wash, so like soap and then face wash, so face wash mein is there any do's and don'ts?
Face wash is very easy these days. Yeah, most companies write on the face wash for oily skin, for dry skin, for normal skin. लिखा रहता है. Very easy कि you pick up a face wash, see for what type of skin. Like I have been told there are 3 maximum or most searched ingredients on Google. One is hyaluronic acid, the other is vitamin C. The third I thought was salicylic acid, I am not too sure. Something like this. So salicylic acid is a BHA, which means to say it's an acidic thing which takes away the oil from your face, which can also contain the bacteria a little bit. Makes the face, if it is oily skin, look a little fresh when you wash with it. You just look at the can, it will be written for dry skin. So, आपके skin के हिसाब से you pick up a face wash. That is the first rule to pick up a face wash.
Okay.
2, it is easy to use a squirt thing, and when you squirt thing, this is not just for face wash, I am telling you this for general skin care tubes and lotions. वो ट्यूब से जो बाहर आता है उसको अच्छे से साफ करके फिर ढक्कन डालो. Most of you, I have a habit of telling everyone, please bring your skincare to office because I want to see what you're using. The ढक्कन के आजू बाजू में it will be dirty. Half the cream will be already out. These are all things that you are breeding to dirt. What is the point of then using that on your skin? So make sure if something squirts out, clean it, dry it, and then put the lid on.
Wow, that's more complex than I thought. But the good part is that you've simplified it as well. So डॉक्टर ने बोला है कि अगेन देयर आर 3 स्टेप्स, क्लेंजिंग, प्रोटेक्टिंग एंड नरिशिंग. क्लेंजिंग में अगर आपको बेसिक करना है, एडवांस लेवल तो ऑब्वियसली आई फील आपको डॉक्टर के पास जाना भी चाहिए, बट एकदम अगर बेसिक करना है तो सोप में मेक श्योर कि आप सही सोप यूज़ कर रहे हो. हार्श वाले सोप जो 99.99% कीटाणु को मारते हैं वो वाले नहीं, और आप सोप को अच्छे से रखो. स्क्वर्ट वाले यूज़ करो, वो बार सोप अवॉइड करो कि वो बहुत लोग यूज़ करते होंगे, कहाँ कहाँ डालते हैं पता नहीं. फेस वॉश को लेके आप सिंपल सा बस देखिए कि आपका स्किन टाइप क्या है और वहाँ पर क्या लिखा है, इज़ इट ऑयली और इज़ इट ड्राई, तो आप अपने हिसाब से यू कैन बाय द फेस वॉश. एंड आई थिंक क्लेंजिंग में ये एक सिंपल तरीका है. नाउ वी आर गोना मूव ऑन टू अदर टाइप्स एंड थिंग्स लाइक दैट एज वेल.
Yes.
So doctor, I want to ask you around acne. ये बहुत common question आया है मुझे. क्या करें क्या? How do you prevent acne and like why does acne even come in the first place? मतलब is there any science behind it? Why is it happening?
While you were saying, I was thinking of one question, and people come and say, "Oh, I'll be writing my notes and saying, okay, acne grade 3. No, I don't have acne. I have pimple." I'm like, okay. So pimple and acne are pretty much same. So that's the first thing I want to kind of demystify from this. Just a colloquial term. That's it.
The South Bombay they call it acne and everywhere else pimple.
Acha, like that? Yeah, maybe.
Okay.
So that's the way it is. Why do you get acne? Which is a very good question, because you have an oil gland. Now, oil gland is like a little gland like this. Yeah. So sebum is the name of the oil that is produced. So that is produced by something called as a sebaceous gland. Now that gland is inside your skin. This produces the oil. It is in the deep part of the skin. It then has a little mouth on the outer part of your skin, which you call as the pore. Now from that pore, the oil kind of pours out. For some people, oil glands are very dense. Size of the gland might also be big, and that is genetic. For everyone, it is triggered by hormones, right? For some people, hormones may be not in the right space. For example, you have PCOD, right? PCOS, sorry, that's the newer term now. So you have a PCOS, then you may have not so good hormones. Or you're simply a man, you're a teenager, your testosterone is like spiking up. So that influences the oil gland. So like that, and external factors such as dust, pollution, humidity, temperature, everything influences the oil gland. Other thing that influences the oil gland is the food that you eat. Inflammatory substances also inflame the oil gland. All of this will work on the oil gland or influence the oil gland to produce oil. Now, while it produces oil, therefore, some may have an oily skin, some may have a dry skin. Now, what happens next is, if the oil is producing here and for example, any kind of dirt plugs your pore, it could be dirt from the outside, it could be dirt from your cream, makeup, anything, or in some conditions, it's just the lining cells become too much and clog it. So, it is clogged. When it was open, if the dirt sat inside it, you will see it like a black opening. It is called as a blackhead. Got it? If the thing is closed, because I told you the skin can grow excess inside here, these cells can grow and it closes it. Now the oil gland is overproducing oil and becomes like this. Oil तो है, बाहर नहीं आ पा रहा है because plugged है gland. तो white head बन गया, क्योंकि white आपका secretion अंदर ही बैठा है. So वो white head बन गया. ये हो गया first stage of acne. अगर इसमें inflame हो गया, anything sitting inside, body is not going to let it sit quietly, right? It is supposed to get out. Now it is sitting inside. So what happens? All your inflammatory cells will act on it. तो हो गया inflammation, then it became painful, it became a little red. फिर some of the bacteria, जो कीटाणु बोलते हैं, वो हमारा स्किन का ही कीटाणु है. कुछ अच्छे कुछ बुरे कीटाणु उसके साथ इसको इन्फेक्ट कर देते हैं. तो इन्फ्लेमेशन भी हो गया, इन्फेक्शन भी हो गया. अभी ये एक्ने बड़े बड़े धीरे होके लाल हो गया, पेनफुल हो गया, कुछ अंदर चला गया, सिस्ट बन गया. तो ये अलग अलग स्टेजेस होता है एक्ने का. फिर एक दिन अपने आप ऐसा इट कांट कंटेन एंड इट जस्ट बर्स्ट. So then all the kachra comes out of that pus and sometimes serous fluid and blood, everything comes out. Then acne goes away and a scar forms. Now this scar can be depending on how big your acne was, how is your skin type, did you sit and kodo it. Depending all that, the scar will be a box scar, a roller scar, big scar, tiny ice pick scar, ये सब हो सकता है. And on a brown skin, we also call it as PIH, which is post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation. मतलब ब्राउन स्किन पे तो आप कुछ भी करो वो डार्क हो जाता है. और तो ये तो एक्ने है, बर्स्ट हो गया, तो इतना सारा डैमेज हो गया स्किन, तो ये भी ब्लैक हो गया. सो आपको दो तरीके से स्कार हो सकता है, एक टेक्सचर वाला स्कार, एक कलर वाला स्कार. वो ब्राउन हो सकता है, किसी किसी को ब्लैक, किसी किसी को ग्रे, किसी किसी को रेड. नया नया एक्ने है तो रेड भी हो सकता है. तो ये हो गया पूरा एक्ने का जर्नी और स्टोरी.
It's like a whole encyclopedia on acne. डॉक्टर, लेकिन ये टीनेज इयर्स में ज़्यादा क्यों होता है?
सो टीनेज में ज़्यादा होता है क्योंकि लड़कों में तो यू आर अटेनिंग योर प्यूबर्टी, तो ज़्यादा टेस्टोस्टेरोन होने लगता है उसमें से. बिकॉज आई टोल्ड यू ऑयल ग्लैंड्स आर इन्फ्लुएंस्ड बाय टेस्टोस्टेरोन, तो इधर भी ऑयल ज़्यादा हो जाता है, इधर भी ऑयल ज़्यादा हो जाता है. एंड इफ़ यू डोंट वॉश योर स्कैल्प, कीप इट क्लीन, वो जो फैट रहता है ऑयल ग्लैंड से बाहर आके, उसी में डैंड्रफ जो है वो एक तरह का ईस्ट होता है, वो उसी में खा के और बढ़ जाता है. तो डैंड्रफ भी हो गया, उसके वजह से और एक्ने हो गया.
So more testosterone equals to sort of more acne in many cases?
Oh yes, in many cases, in a lot of cases.
But then why do women get acne?
That is because women also go through something called as menarche. We just start menstruating, the puberty stage starts. So we also go through some hormone changes. Sudden estrogen starts happening, suddenly there are hormonal changes, suddenly there's a lot of progesterone happening. That also leads to acne. And some women in the puberty ages start putting on weight, eat unhealthy, sleep at odd hours, very stressed about many things in their life because they're going through their transitions, right? Stress hormone itself also causes acne. And all of these changes, plus if they are eating unhealthy, leading unhealthy lives, put on a little weight, that can cause PCOS. That can cause increase in male hormone in a female.
Wow.
And that will cause acne.
So doctor, you mentioned this word many times, eating unhealthy. And of course, as food farmer, that pricks my, that makes me sensitive. So what does eating unhealthy mean in terms of acne? Like, does, I've heard like dairy or cheese potentially causes acne, is that true?
Yes, yes. Why do we tell you to eat healthy? Because we don't want to add to the inflammation which is happening.
Okay.
Right? I told you there's inflammation happening while there is acne. You don't want to add to the inflammation. So only thing a doctor is trying to do is cut down 2 varieties of food. One which increases inflammation, 2 which increases your glycemic index. Only 2 variety we are trying to cut down. Now what is glycemic index? You will know better than anybody else that anything that spikes your sugar which leads to release of insulin. तो sugar spike होते रहेगा, insulin release होते रहेगी. After some time that insulin stays there and this sugar rise will not respond to insulin and get stored and assimilated the way it should. Sugar भी उधर ही रहेगा, insulin भी उधर ही रहेगा. That is the stage where we call insulin resistance. Sugar will not respond to it, but there's also insulin and sugar sitting in your body and your blood. So you get lot of issues, whether it is acne, whether it is PCOS, whether it is dark skin on your neck, it is dark skin on your face and patches and body fold, skin tags. All this can happen with insulin resistance. So sugar spike बंद करना बहुत ही important है. So either you coat your sugar, so there is no spike. Correct? So whenever you feel I want to eat sugar, you either take a sugar with lowest glycemic index, such as a dark chocolate.
Okay.
Or you coat your sugar with a little bit of, let's say, proteins. So you eat a chocolate. What protein can you add to the chocolate? Fats and proteins. Nuts add कर लो. Fat आ गया. So it will slower the sugar spike. So you add something and coat your sugar if you like have to eat sugar. If you don't have to eat sugar, reduce it. The other thing is, most people when they crave for sugar, their body has less protein. Protein is not good enough in their diet. That is why they're craving for sugar. Start giving them protein-rich diet, their sugar craving will automatically go down.
Yeah. To avoid acne, हमें जो खाना हमारा glycemic index में high है और जो inflammation cause करता है, ये 2 type के खाना हमें avoid करना चाहिए.
Correct. So inflammation क्या high करता है? Processed food. Cheese is processed food. किसी को so blanket में सबको नहीं बोलती हूँ dairy छोड़ दो, because किसी को dairy inflame नहीं करता है. हम blanket नहीं बोलती हूँ कि gluten छोड़ दो, क्योंकि आपको अगर gluten से gut happy है तो आपको वो inflame नहीं कर रहा है. But in general, dairy, gluten, night vegetables, all these are slightly more inflammatory.
Night vegetables as well.
Which is night colored vegetables like a brinjal, like all those dark colored vegetables, like those purpley dark vegetables. Also seeds, vegetables with seeds. For
Doctor,
a lot of
which
people.
foods are then good for you for reducing your acne or like
Reduce your acne. I don't think there is one good food. Of course, we all say oxidative damage is there in everything. That's what leads to inflammation. So any food rich in antioxidant is good for you. Any
like
food,
strawberries?
yeah, all your
blueberries.
berries, our curcumin, which is haldi,
Uh-huh.
pepper, ginger, cinnamon, all our spices are all very good for acne because they are all rich in antioxidant.
Okay, so
And they're all anti-inflammatory as well. So, which is fabulous for you, Indian food.
so acne कम करना है तो have all these berries and
Yeah. सुबह उठ के मम्मा जो खाड़ा बनाती थी पहले with pepper, ginger, curcumin. So the worst food is a mixture of all this, like a cake, like a chocolate, like a cheese. It is, for example, milk and processed. Cake is processed in milk and sugar. Chocolate is milk and sugar and processed. तो आप सोचो अगर एक हम harmful बोल रहे हैं, आप तीनों साथ में कर रहे हो तो इधर lethal हो गया हो.
So डॉक्टर एक और चीज़ टीनेजर्स को ही लेके बहुत एक बड़ा लाइक स्कूल टाइम पे स्पेशली लोग बोलते थे कि someone who masturbates has a higher likelihood of acne. तो ये फैक्ट है या ये कुछ मेड अप स्टोरी है?
Just a made up story है. I think डराने के लिए to not to do.
Men women दोनों के लिए सेम.
Yeah, that has no bearing at all.
बहुत बड़ा मतलब स्कूल के टाइम पे तो people should think of it as like a
Really, I'm hearing it for the first time, to be honest.
wow. Okay. Also एक क्वेश्चन कि एक्ने कुछ लोग का बैक में भी होता है, ऐसा क्यों है?
बहुत लोगों का होता है बैक में. बहुत सारा men heavy proteins लेते हैं जिम के कारण. That also can lead to back acne really badly.
Okay.
Because that's highly inflammatory, right? To digest protein is not easy. So you need to find the right protein which suits your body, right amount of protein, right kind of protein, and take it in the right way, only then the protein digestion is easy. Otherwise, anything which is tough on your body is inflammatory.
So, doctor, is it true that would you agree with the statement that plant-based protein is better for your acne compared to
Yeah,
whey
that's
protein?
because it's easy to digest, simply easy to digest. So I first thing when I see men, oh yes, we are gymming, oh yes, we are taking protein, I tell them simply switch to plant-based. Half the acne is gone by one single step. Switch to
Wow.
plant-based protein because it's
So
easy
वे
on you.
प्रोटीन के बदले अगर आप प्लांट बेस्ड प्रोटीन
Yes.
लोगे तो आपका
Yes.
एक्ने का चांसेस बहुत कम हो जाएगा.
Yes,
वाओ.
सिंपली डैंड्रफ क्लियर रखो, बाल रोज धोना. अगर ऐसा एनिमल बेस्ड या मिल्क बेस्ड प्रोटीन ले रहे हो, वो शिफ्ट करके वीगन प्लांट बेस्ड प्रोटीन लेना चालू करो. सिंपली आपका जो कपड़े यूज कर रहे हो एकदम टाइट यूज मत करो. ये सिंपल 3-4 चीज से आपके ट्रंकल एक्ने जो हम बोलते हैं बॉडी, बैक, बट और शोल्डर्स पे है, वो अपने आप कम हो जाता है. आप कुछ भी नहीं करोगे तो भी, सिर्फ ये 4 चीज करो.
Okay, this is very useful. So, doctor, we spoke a lot about cleansing. Now, I want to
Yes.
move to protecting
Okay.
and specifically sunscreen because that's a very hot topic. Use करना चाहिए, नहीं करना चाहिए. इंडिया में sun obviously बहुत ज़्यादा रहता है. So, one line, one word answer. Should people use sunscreen? Yes or no?
Yes, most of us put sunscreen thinking मुझे tan नहीं होने हैं.
हाँ.
But sun also burns you, sun also ages you, sun can also irritate you and get you a dry, chappy skin which can get even sensitive later. Those things you don't want happening. And after a certain age, sun also accelerates your aging because it starts breaking down collagen, hardens your elastin. So the skin that should look supple and soft may start getting bad, which will contribute towards aging. So all of these things also the sun does. Of course, in a much more deeper level, it can also cause you skin cancers. But we are not going till there because we are great, we are blessed with melanin. तो बहुत सारा इसी में protect हो जाता है. So, should you apply sunscreen? Yes. Should you be obsessed with it? No. That's the answer.
And what do you mean by that? Like you use it once a day?
No, so it's not even about intraday use. I'm saying, should you be obsessed that every day, oh my God, if I don't wear a sunscreen, what's going to happen to me? No. So, but if you are in a sun exposed situation, if you are exposed to a lot of light, if you are in an age bracket where you know now aging changes are starting to happen and you also have a lot of sun exposure, so please wear a sunscreen. It's a good thing to wear. But if you don't wear it, we are protected by our brown skin. So it's not that, oh my God, क्या हो जाएगा? वो नहीं है, डरो मत is all I'm trying to say.
कुछ लोग बोलते हैं कि सनस्क्रीन यूज करने से जो सन का जो बेनिफिट्स है, वो जो बोलते हैं विटामिन डी और ये वो नहीं मिलता है आपको अगर सनस्क्रीन यूज करोगे.
आप
तो
सनस्क्रीन कितना यूज करोगे? इतने में यूज करोगे.
हाँ.
अब ये स्किन है, मुझे विटामिन डी अगर बनाने हैं, ये स्किन है, बॉडी में पूरा स्किन है. लोग आधा या शॉर्ट्स पहनते हैं या हाथ खुला है या साड़ी भी पहनते हो तो वेस्ट पूरा खुला है, बैक खुला है. तो देयर इज सो मच मोर स्किन सरफेस एरिया टू मेक योर विटामिन डी. इफ दैट वाज योर ओनली सोर्स, दैट इज नॉट योर ओनली सोर्स. फूड में इतना सारा विटामिन डी आ रहा है.
So doctor, I understand we need to use sunscreen, but how do I identify the right sunscreen? Like I mentioned, label padega India. Is there anything in the label that I need to keep in mind, or aisa, what do I look out for?
So easily, if you want to read the label, you need to understand 3 things. एक हो गया SPF, which means sun protection factor. In a layman term, if I go out in the sun, 10 minutes damage will be protected by 1 SPF. Got it? So if a bottle says 10 SPF, I can go out and stay safe in the sun 10 times 10 minutes.
So 140 minutes.
Yeah. Let's say I am safe in the sun, 10 SPF hai to, technically. Baki details I'll come later. So this is the first thing you read. Number written saying SPF. Second thing what you will read is TPA, Tan Protection Index, which will be indicated as number of plus or star. So 4 plus is best, 3 plus is good enough. Yeah, so that is what you will. So that will protect your tan. The next one which will be written is blue light protection. So which means it is also protecting you from blue light, the shorter wavelength light which starts before your UV rays starts. So it protecting you from that as well. So now if you are in the blue light, which means you are using a lot of, let's say, light like this, computer light, phone light, electronic light, and your daylight, all this has blue light in it. So if you are exposed to more of this, you make sure blue light is written there. If you're exposed to a lot of sun that you're running around and you know you tan very easily, some people tan very easily, then you make sure your TPA is 4+. If you are applying a sunscreen in the morning and you know you need protection for a long term, you look at least 40 to 50 SPF. 50 से ज़्यादा SPF will till 100 SPF will only give you 0.00 I think 3 or something protection. That's it.
तो 50 SPF enough है.
कोई भी सन कोई भी एक्सपोजर के लिए 50 SPF इनफ है बिकॉज आपका ऑलमोस्ट 99.6% प्रोटेक्शन उतने में आ गया. बाकी आप कितना ज़्यादा लोगे उतने तसा विच इज यूजलेस.
और दैट्स बिकॉज़ मैं हमेशा मुझे लगता था कि अगर 100 SPF है तो बहुत अच्छा है, वही लो. तो 50 भी चलेगा. तो 50 SPF means basically 50 multiplied by 10, so 500 minutes of protection.
Technically, that is why I said. But how do you get that protection? Is unless you literally take 2 teaspoons and put on this much, you won't get that 50. That is the trick thing there. So बोल देते हैं उसमें 50 SPF. कितना यूज करने में 50 SPF मिलता है वो आपको बॉटल्स में नहीं लिखा जाता है.
Interesting. वो loophole है.
Question. Exactly. तो इसलिए ज़्यादातर डर्मेटोलॉजिस्ट आपको बोलते हैं 2 finger width आप इतना डालो सिर्फ इतने के लिए. बट इतना आप डालोगे इंडिया जैसा क्लाइमेट में जिधर पोल्यूशन है, स्टिकी है, ह्यूमिडिटी है, इट विल गेट मेसी एंड स्टिकी एंड नन ऑफ यू विल फॉलो इट इफ आई टेल यू दैट. सो आप भले 50 SPF के ट्यूब खरीद रहे हो बट आपके दिमाग में रहना चाहिए मैं उसका इतना ही लगा रही हूँ, ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा इतना जाएगा चेहरे पे. तो आपको मिलेगा SPF मे बी 20. तो आप काउंट करके सोचो सिर्फ 20 SPF इवन इफ यू आर पुटिंग 50 SPF. How can you compensate if you have a full day going out? Then obviously most of us women use some makeup. Makeup itself is an SPF.
Oh.
Yeah, because उसमें mineral sunscreens होते हैं like iron oxide, copper oxides also I think, titanium dioxide. All these are things which are there in a makeup to make the makeup opaque. That's how it covers your flaws, right? So that itself is a sunscreen. So उसमें से एक 5-10 SPF आ गया. And then you wear a hat and a glass, उसमें से ज़रा SPF हो गया. So like that you accumulate your SPF. Cumulatively you add it up. But if you're dependent only on sunscreen and if you do the math that I told you, it is not going to be like that. And you think morning 10 बजे मैंने sunscreen डाला, 3 बजे मैं घर में happily वापस आ रही हूँ sun को देख के hello बोल के, it is going to burn you. Not happening.
So doctor, for like sunscreen, there are 3 main things you need to look out for. One is SPF. So
Yes.
the more the SPF, up till like around 50 is good. उसके बाद it's not necessary. Second was TPA or TPI, Tan
Yes.
Protection Index. And if you have 4 pluses is good or 3 pluses is good enough. And the last was the blue light one. And if it's blue light protection, it's good. Okay, so if it meets all these 3, usually it's a
great.
good color. Okay, that's how you pick the sunscreen.
Yes.
All right, perfect.
So when you use sunscreen, most of us think it is tan, it is all that, right? Where does it all start is with oxidative stress. Now what happens to the apple which is cut 10 minutes ago? It became all brown, no? What is this? This is oxidation. Imagine.
Skin में भी यही होता है.
Of course. दिखता नहीं है brown जैसा. For example, आप freshly काटो same apple, it's clean and white. 10 minutes के पहले I had asked your production team to cut and look at how this is. So this is oxidative stress. Exactly this is what happens to the skin. So sunscreen is very important. Eventually, this is what leads to inflammation and that is what leads to tanning, your then slowly DNA change, aging change, all that. It starts with an oxidative stress.
That is why you should use sunscreen.
Exactly. Sunscreen, moisturizer, protection, any kind of protection is to avoid from oxidative stress.
Okay. So doctor, you were telling me about texture and you were going to show me an example.
So I'll show you some gadgets, interesting ones. So this
Okay.
is something called as derma roller.
Derma roller.
Yeah. Can you see micro little needles on it?
Yeah.
These needles can prick on the skin, which means your brain is thinking, oh my God, there is injury happening. Imagine this is your skin and I will, after numbing, roll this on your skin like that. So this is going to cause micro injuries on it, which depending on the needle length, sometimes may not even cause you bleeding. It just makes little channels and the doctor will choose to apply something So it kind of penetrates much more easily and works on your skin. Or it can be longer needle, which may also cause bleeding because it is penetrated deeper. The idea of all this is to tell your brain, tell your skin, tell your body that there is a wound, produce more collagen, produce more repairing substances. So it will again start repairing as if it were fresh wound.
Got it. So you intentionally.
Causing controlled wound.
Okay. Can I have a look?
Yeah, go ahead.
So you are taking this basically and putting it. You're putting first some like painkiller sort of a thing.
Numbing cream.
Numbing cream.
Correct.
Then you're putting this on the person's
Yes.
face, and it's causing a wound, and then the skin is repairing itself then.
Exactly.
Which is getting rid of the marks and acne
Correct.
and whatever else.
Correct.
सो डॉक्टर मैं आजकल बहुत सारा रील्स देखता हूँ जहाँ लिखते हैं कि बहुत लोग आजकल फिलर्स यूज़ करते हैं, बॉलीवुड भी और ऐसे और भी लोग फिलर्स यूज़ करते हैं. फिलर्स होता क्या है, क्या वो क्यों यूज़ करते हैं, एक्ने स्कार में यूज़ करते हैं, क्यों यूज़ करते हैं?
Filler is just a transparent jelly. ये jelly जैसा.
ये फिलर है?
This is actually simulation of a filler. It's
Okay.
just a simulated thing. ऐसा होता है बस दिखाने के लिए कि हल्का फिलर, कम मॉलिक्यूलर वेट और कम अगर क्रॉस लिंकिंग है तो इतना सॉफ्ट हो सकता है
ओके.
चेहरे के अंदर. तो सॉफ्ट वाला फिलर हम यूज
तो
कर
लोग ये
सकते
चेहरे के
हैं.
अंदर डालते हैं pretty much.
इसको नहीं. ये सिर्फ मॉडल है.
हाँ.
ऐसा वाला जेली ही होता है वो
Okay.
जो हम चेहरे के अंदर सॉफ्ट वाला आंख के नीचे या लिप्स में हम सॉफ्ट यूज करते हैं. जरा ऐसा टफ वाला हम यूज कर सकते हैं अगर आपको चिन बनाने का है, चीक बनाने का है, तो मोल्ड करने के लिए,
एक shape देने के लिए.
हाँ, शेप देने के लिए जरा कड़क वाला. ना फिलर ऐसा होता है. मैंने एक सिरिंज आपको लेके आया. तो अगर ये निकालोगे तो that is your filler. See? That is your filler. It just touch it. It's just a jelly. That's it.
It's very soft, like pretty much like this.
Exactly. No, that's just a model. So this is filler.
This is filler.
Yes. So that is a filler. So this is what goes into people, which is highly hydrating substance, natural substance. यही है आपका आइज के आईबॉल में जो जेली है वो फिलर ही है. जेली इन योर स्किन इज फिलर, जेली इन योर जॉइंट्स इज फिलर.
फिलर आप बोल रहे हो, मैं बहुत सारे लोग को देखता हूँ when they are like slightly older, maybe in their 50s, लगता है कि ये बहुत ज़्यादा कुछ गलत हो गया है उनके फेस में. पहले तो 30s में प्रॉब्ली ठीक था,
हाँ.
अब एकदम वो लिप्स थोड़ा swollen हो गया है. तो ऐसा क्यों होता है कि वो बाद में बॉलीवुड में भी कुछ लोग को देखा हो और वो उनका लिप्स एकदम वैसा रहता है?
प्रॉब्लम है कि सिर्फ गलत जॉब्स दिखते हैं. अच्छे जॉब्स आप देखते ही नहीं हो. जैसा आप बोल रहे हो कुछ 30s में ठीक लेते हैं, 50s में खराब दिखते हैं. आप कुछ स्टार्स को फॉलो करके उसका पहला वाला पिक्चर देखो, 10-20 साल के बाद आप अब देखो और देखते हैं वाई शी टर्न्ड आउट टू बी सो ब्यूटीफुल, हाउ. और अगर आप इंटरव्यू में उनको पूछेंगे या योगा बोलेंगे या फेस ऑयल बोलेंगे या सैंडलवुड बोलेंगे, आई एम लाइक हेलो, नो, वी हैव डन वर्क ऑन देम.
सो बॉलीवुड में जो लोग 50-60s में बहुत यंग लगते हैं, वो जो
40s में भी बहुत खूबसूरत लगते हैं. फॉर एग्जाम्पल लेट 30s में आप उनका अर्ली 20s देखो कि लेट 30s देखो, ऐसा लगता है वाओ शी इज ट्रांजिशन इनटू समथिंग वेरी ब्यूटीफुल. तो वो भी बहुत सारा डॉक्टर्स के काम भी रहते हैं उसके पीछे. सो आई व्हाट आई एम
सैंडलवुड और योगा के कारण नहीं है.
नहीं
वो फिलर्स ही है बेसिकली.
या फिलर्स ही नहीं, फिलर्स है, जरा सा बोटॉक्स हो सकता है, जरा सा लेजर्स हो सकता है, कुछ भी हो सकता है. काम करने से द ओनली थिंग व्हाई आई एम इवन टॉकिंग अबाउट दिस इज आम जनता ऐसा सोचता है दो एक्सट्रीम में. या वो सोचते हैं ओ माय गॉड ये सब बहुत गलत चीज़ है, देखो उसका चेहरा कैसा हो गया. नहीं है, अच्छे चेहरे पे भी काम होता है और वो अच्छे से होता है, वो जानना ज़रूरी है. दूसरा ये है कि आप स्टार को देखते हो, बोलते हो शी सो ब्यूटीफुल, ऐसा कैसा हुई और हम इतना कैसा नहीं दिख रहे, और वो तो बोल रही है सिर्फ योगा से और हम तो रोज़ योगा कर क्यों नहीं हो रहा है. तो प्लीज़ सिर्फ वो नहीं होता है. सो दिस इज़ अ टू रीज़न व्हाई आई ऑलवेज टेल दैट होता है काम.
Doctor, I have a question. Lot of men are now talking about makeup, and makeup for men has usually been a taboo. Do men usually use makeup, and should men use makeup?
If you don't want to use makeup, these days the sunscreen comes with a tint. That's a very good idea. So you take a tinted sunscreen, jo aap, oh my God, you're a man. Still, you don't need to use makeup, but tinted sunscreen is all right. So use a tinted sunscreen, which can also act as a concealer, act as an under-eye corrector for you. Double it up with just a tinted sunscreen. But otherwise, under-eye concealer मिल रहा है, which is very easy to use. Acne scars को ज़रा सा ऐसा dab करके आप cover कर सकते हो, which is all okay.
So, doctor, for many, many years, at least in the middle class India, if not even like in the higher income groups, makeup meant sort of face whitening and glow
Yeah.
things and like, you know, all the fairness creams and things like that. So is fairness cream still popular? Maybe just use some other word.
There is nothing on earth which can change your complexion permanently. Nothing. There is nothing on earth to permanently change your skin color to make it different, unless, of course, there are medical things that we do, especially in terms of like a vitiligo, like how Michael Jackson had patchy skin. So the other patches which had skin color, they depigmented it. So that is a different kind of depigmenting. There is no way you can do 3 shades light and 2 shades light and make a person fair. So please don't fall for these things.
Dr. Collagen, what's your take? बहुत लोग कोलाजन ले रहे हैं बोल के स्किन के लिए बहुत ज़्यादा अच्छा है. Actually अच्छा है या नहीं?
In the name of collagen, if you end up taking liquids and powders which usually have added sugar, because what is the collagen that you get these days? It is the only collagen that really is very similar to the amino acids of what you need to build your own collagen is either bovine or marine. Bovine is coming from cow, buffalo, one of those, and marine is coming from fish sources. In India, they don't import bovine mostly, there's not much, there's only marine which is sitting in. Marine collagen stinks. So to take away that stink, so much is added to it which you may sometimes not know at all. So what I like to give collagen is in a tablet form. So it is bound, you're just swallowing it, so you're not feeling the smell, nor are you feeling the taste of it. There is a lot of plant-based collagens, but they don't work as well as an animal-based collagen is, because those amino acid chains are more similar to what we require. So that is the story of collagen.
And so doctor, we spoke a lot about cleansers,
Yeah.
protectors. Any quick tips around nourishers, like in the oils which are there?
Oil is a very traditional thing to India, which is very beautiful. The day a child is born, we do oil massages, right? So oil is a very integral part for skin. So the skin on the top, which is our barrier, is actually made and held together with oils. So there is protein, there is oil, which then holds back the water. So that is what gives you a glowing, healthy skin. So oil can be anything, from a coconut oil to an almond oil to a ghee. A lot of times I've seen children are massaged with ghee. Very good. Any oil that you like. Needn't be exotic jasmine oil and sandalwood oil. Any oil, whichever is native to your region. It's good to have even a 5-minute oil massage before bath is a wonderful thing. One, you're applying oil, that is a protecting, nourishing. You know, oil such as coconut oil also has a bacteriostatic effect, which means it cuts down your bacteria, it stops them from overgrowing. So all of that. So you could end up and simply massaging yourself will drain away the excess fluid. You see a lot of things massaging the lymphatic fluid away from your face. So you end up doing a little bit of a quick massage on your face. It can be both draining off the excessive fluids and stimulatory to your face and get the blood rushing in. So massaging and oil are two wonderful things to do for your skin and body, hair, everything.
Doctor, but a question, if you already have oily skin, should you still put oil?
You can apply oil. Like I said, a lot of oils are even cleansing. So you can, and bacteriostatic and fungistatic. So you can apply the oil and wash it off. Don't just keep it there. Also, what is very important is to oil on clean skin and clean scalp. Mostly people end up oiling before a bath. That's how tradition is, right? But we don't have bath every day. That came from place when they used to have bath every morning, as in wash your hair, which we don't do. If you don't wash your hair every day, then there is accumulation of various products that we put in, dandruffs, oil of your skin, and then you put oil and massage, you will only cause disservice. So make sure you're applying oil, whether it is your skin to your body or to your hair, on a clean skin, not on a dirty skin.
Makes sense. So doctor, we spoke a lot about what individuals, both men and women, can do to protect their skin. But now I want to ask you, what can India as a whole do to protect the entire country's skin?
Oh my God, this is a massive question. The first thing we can do is actually protect our ozone layer. So do everything to control the carbon emission. Once the ozone layer is well protected, the bad or the harsh UV rays that pass from the sun to us will cut down. Maybe you don't need sunscreens then. Maybe everybody's skin will be healthy. 2, cut down on all the pesticides and chemicals that's going into produce. So the young children are eating good food. We are eating good food. So there is less inflammation. So all of us have good skin. The acne is not as rampant as it is now. Third, tell your children they're beautiful anyways. So you're not making them obsessed about looking a certain way. So I think these three things India can do. What do you say?
Amazing, yeah. So ozone को बचाओ,
Yeah.
pesticide को कम
हटाओ।
कराओ और बच्चे का self esteem को बढ़ाओ. Perfect. Thank you so much, doctor. This was an amazing
Fine.
chat.
Thank you.
Hope it helps everyone
Yeah.
who's watching improve their skin and improve their
Yes.
self esteem as well. इस एपिसोड में मुझे 3 इंपॉर्टेंट लेसन्स मिले. पहला लेसन मिला सोप्स को लेके कि हमें हार्श सोप्स जो 99.99% कीटाणुओं को मारते हैं उनसे दूर रहना चाहिए. सोप शेयर नहीं करना चाहिए और बार सोप्स के बदले हमें स्क्वर्टिंग वाला लिक्विड सोप यूज करना चाहिए. द सेकेंड लेसन वॉज अराउंड सनस्क्रीन कि हमें सनस्क्रीन यूज करनी चाहिए और उसके SPF, TPI और ब्लू लाइट्स पे ध्यान देना चाहिए. एंड थर्ड एंड मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंटली हमें स्किन हेल्थ को अपने सेल्फ एस्टीम से जोड़ना नहीं चाहिए. एंड वंस अगेन रिमेंबर, फोकस ऑन स्किन केयर, नॉट ऑन स्किन ऑब्सेशन.